All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whatever time and whatever way that you are viewing this is the Surround Sound Podcast, and I am your host, R. Hunter Jr., the truth and not a rumor. Big shout out to everybody on Facebook Live, everybody on YouTube Live. That's right, YouTube Live and Instagram Live. So wherever you are, I appreciate you for hanging out with us for just a moment. In just a second, we're going to bring on the owner of Punches and Bunches, Mr. Tramaine Cook. He'll be on with us. We're going to talk some boxing. We're going to get into the boxing breakdown of Paul versus Tyson that'll be coming up on July the 28th, live from AT&T Stadium. That's right, Jerry World in Dallas, Texas. Well, we're going to get to that in a minute. And before we get to that, we're going to talk about a couple of things. On next week's show, we have Golf Pro of Pillow Castle Golf Club in Columbia, Tennessee. Mr. Rick Zaxby, he'll be on. He'll be hanging out with us for a moment. We'll be talking about the Masters. The Masters is coming up next week, and we'll definitely get into that and all the things that come along with it. What else? Last week, we had just a stellar time with our guest, Crystal Waddington. She's an illustrator out of Kansas City, Missouri. She has an awesome set of coloring books that are designed to give our young kids, those 2 to 10, a much better thought process on African American history. So that was a dope show as well. Make sure you check that out. And then we're gonna get into things with our guest today in just a moment. And then, of course, we got next week as well. I'm looking forward to it. Going to talk with Rick Zaxby, the golf pro. We're also going to talk some baseball. He's a big Detroit Tigers fan. And, of course, I'm a huge Chicago fan, like both teams, and Atlanta Braves fan. So we're gonna see what all of that has to do. So, once again, this week, Punches and Bunches owner Tramaine Cook. We're going to get into the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, and we're going to also talk about the Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou fight that happened in early March. The way this Diddy thing is going down, it looks like possibly gonna have 50 Cent versus Stevie J. Another story for another day. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and bring on our guest, Mr. Tramaine Cook. He's going to be coming live from Punches and Bunches. That's right, at 1034 3rd Avenue South, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's see if we can bring Tramaine on in. Dun, 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 dun. What's going on, Big Game Tramaine? What's happening, Playboy?
How you doing, big guy?
Hey, man, I am absolutely awesome, man. Some good things are happening at Punches and Bunches.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get to that in a second, but after that, we're going to definitely get into the boxing breakdown of Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I want to hear, just in the infancy, of course, who you think is going to win, but we want to see like what the offense and defense is going to look like, because this one guy is an infant and one guy is elderly in the world of boxing right now.
Right.
First, you have some good things happening with the youth of Nashville. Like if a child wants to come and learn more about boxing, what you guys got going on here in the little time that we have left in school and in the summer?
So right now we got a program called Counterpunch Youth Academy, and what that is we work with kids or young people ages 20 and younger. We teach them the art of boxing, whether that's at our gym or we actually have a few relationships with a couple of local schools around town where we bring our programs inside of those schools or even inside of those nonprofit organizations. And we pretty much set up shop, teach them what they will learn at the gym. We also give them an opportunity to get a membership at our gym at those partner schools that we work with.
That's awesome, bro. Okay, so is this strictly something to get the youth in the boxing, the sport of boxing, or can they also learn some, self-defense type of
Yeah,
training as well?
it's a combination of both. So the way we do it at the schools is a non-contact form. So we're not necessarily trying to get them to be boxers per se, but we're teaching them how to box, do a boxing workout. If they want to make contact or like move forward and compete, then that's when we offer them the invitation to come here locally at our gym or whatnot.
That's awesome. That's awesome right there. You actually servicing the community right there. That's truly, truly dope, Tramaine. Okay, so what if, let's say, that child's parent or parents wanted to do something similar or do the same? Do we have adult classes or anything like that going on at the gym?
Yeah, most definitely. We service the whole family. So that can be mom, dad, auntie, grandmother, grandfather. Like we have a program where we offer those sessions like in small group sessions. It could be 2 to 6 people in the group, or we do one-on-one training for those individuals who may want like a more direct workout plan, or like they may want to lose weight, gain weight, learn self-defense, or things like that, where they want something more prescribed to them. We have one-on-one sessions for those adults as well.
That's awesome right there, my brother. Okay, where can we go to learn more information? We know we're in the technological world, so do we have like websites or anything for the Youth Academy and for Punches and Bunches?
Yes, sir. So we got 2 different websites. We got one for the youth, it's Counterpunch youthacademy.org. And then for Punches and Bunches side for the adults, it's called www.pnbboxing.com. And you can go to our social media handles. It's PNB Boxing on Facebook and Instagram.
Excellent, excellent. That's cool right there. Okay, so in this, what I like to call post Floyd Mayweather Jr. Boxing arena that we're in right now, or part of the history that we're in right now, the heavyweight division is not what it used to be.
Right.
And the last, I would say, big fight, I won't even call it a mega fight. The last big fight we had was, I mean, now we're having to go to the UFC side and like poach some of their bigger names. Regardless of how we feel about it, the last big fight was Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. Now, the reason this fight even makes sense in my estimation is because Francis fought Fury, and many thought that fight, could have went to Francis, couldn't went to Ngannou. Now, this last fight, and I want you to also talk about the fight as well, because it was very short. So I'm sure you have some things to say, but it was like 3 right hands by Joshua, and that was the fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
What else do you feel in reference to the fight? Because I'm hearing things that he being Francis Ngannou has had some excuses in regard to the fight.
Yeah, I believe that like some of the excuses I heard was he felt dehydrated, he was tired, he felt sleepy in the locker room or whatnot. But to be honest, like nothing against the MMA fighters. They train hard and everything, but it's just a different realm when you step into the boxing ring with boxing rules, with boxing gloves. It's definitely a different type of situation versus a boxer stepping into a cage. So I believe on that particular night, he just ran into the better man at boxing. Like Anthony Joshua was a world heavyweight champion, and I believe that if Fury would have trained the proper way, he probably would have did him the same way, just to be honest.
Do you think Fury possibly took Ngannou lightly?
Of course. I believe he thought that he can just kind of walk through. I don't think that he thought Ngannou was going to train as hard as he did for that particular fight. So I do think that he kind of overlooked him or whatnot.
Woo. The lineal heavyweight champion of the world possibly looked over Mr. Francis Ngannou. Once again, we're here with the owner of Punches and Bunches, Mr. Tramaine Cook. Make sure you head down to 1034 3rd Avenue South and check out the Punches and Bunches gym. Okay, so getting back to what you just said, as far as Ngannou's as far as Ngannou's excuses, the
Mhm.
last thing that I've heard is that he got to the arena too early, which was weird to me.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so of course, in any sport, you have a time allotted for warm up. You know,
Right.
basketball, football, stretching, whatever, what have you. Now, in a sport that is as singular as boxing, or even MMA, is it out of the realm of possibility that a fighter knows whatever their warm up routine is and would it follow that?
Yeah, but it is. But at the same time, sometimes things do happen behind the scenes that a lot of people don't speak on. It's possible that he did show up a little early, or something else could have happened in the process of him doing that could have changed the whole trajectory of his particular warm up routine. So that is a possibility.
Well, what I'm seeing here from sportsbible.com, he has been said that he got an email and he was scheduled to be some 2 hours prior to when he was supposed to be there. However, Joshua got there an hour or so before. It was still strange to me. He's from Cameroon. Joshua is from the UK, United Kingdom. They fought in Saudi Arabia on March 9th. Like I said, it was a second round knockout, and three right hands. It
Yeah.
couldn't have been the three right hands that defeated him, huh?
Nah, it couldn't have been the right hands, but those are the ones that touched that chin, though.
Yes, definitely touched that chin. Okay, that was the undercard. Now for the main event, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Now, in the tail of the tape, I think this particular thing in the tail of the tape is where we really going to see, or better yet, what we really want to know in regard to this fight are the 58 fights that Tyson has been through, and plus 48 that he has over Paul, versus Paul's minus 30 years of life. You know, this is the tail of the tape. Yeah, height, reach, and all that. Yeah, that and weight, that's all to come. But that's what we really want to see. So you're at the gym now. Can you possibly give us some like offense and defense? You know, dealing with Jake Paul first, and then with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I can.
What should we be looking for?
So I got two of my guys here. Did you want me to have them demonstrated, or how did you want me to do it?
However, that'd be fine. You can narrate it from there, and then just they can actually demonstrate what's going on.
Okay. So let me see that. So right here I got Jay and I got Ryan right here. So Ryan he's going to be Mike Tyson.
Okay.
And Jay, you're going to be Jake Paul. So Jake Paul, I think he's a little bit taller than Mike Tyson. So what we're going to do is get in our boxing stance. So with Jake Paul,
I'm sorry, Tramaine, you cut out just for a second there. Could you reiterate what you just said, please?
Yeah.
After who you introduced, like that part got a little choppy.
Okay. So yeah, I got Jay. So right here, Ryan in the black, he's Mike Tyson.
Okay.
And I got Jay, he'll be Jake Paul.
It's every day, bro.
Excellent.
Yeah. So Jake Paul's he's a little taller than Mike Tyson from the stats and what I've seen. So the keys for Jake Paul to win, from my opinion, is I think that Jake Paul is going to have to use his jab and fight long. So if Mike Tyson's trying to do his little bob and weave thing where he's going side to side, Jake Paul has to keep a jab in his face. And what Jake Paul is known for is what he knocks people out with is the overhand right hand. So he'll throw that overhand to the temple, bam, catch Mike Tyson coming in, and I believe that he can drop him, but he'll have to do that as the fight goes on. Like, I don't think he'll be able to do that in rounds 1 through 4. I think they're fighting maybe 10 2-minute rounds, if I'm not mistaken. So, and they got on 16-ounce gloves from what I've heard, but I don't know for sure. So that can play a big part too.
Okay, speak to that real quick. Them having 16-ounce gloves to a novice that is checking in with us, what would that matter? Like, of course, usually it's 3-minute rounds, but the 16-ounce gloves, speak to that real quick.
So 16-ounce gloves are what we use to spar with at the gym, like with headgear on and things like. So it's a little heavier, and it has
Okay.
more padding on it. So when you fight in 10-ounce gloves, 8-ounce gloves. My bad. So when you fight in an actual pro fight, it's 8-ounce gloves, so they're smaller, and you feel more
Yeah.
of the knuckles when you hit somebody with them.
Ooh wee. Ooh
So
wee. Okay.
but the
Okay.
16s hurt too, but they got more. It's like pillows on them a little bit. So
All right. All right. Okay. So offensively, we know what Jake Paul is going to have to do. He's going to have to extend. He's going to have to use that reach. He's 6'1". Mike Tyson is 5'10". That's roughly three inches.
right.
Now, Mike Tyson is quick. He's going to get inside.
He
So
is.
how would Jake Paul defend himself from a accelerating and aggressive Mike Tyson?
So if Mike Tyson was coming in, we'll use that area. He'll have to use his legs. So he'll have to keep moving around, moving in, moving out, kind of adding what we call feints. So he'll have to keep moving. So he's going to have to really have his endurance up for this particular fight to use his legs. So he's going to get touched for sure. But the key to Jake Paul's defense is he's going to have to keep his legs moving and make sure that he has his hands up high to be able to withstand some of those wild hooks that Mike Tyson might be. They're not really wild, but they'll be coming around his guard, possibly hitting him in the ear or the temple or whatnot.
Definitely vicious punches from Mike Tyson.
They are vicious.
Okay. Now let's swap up. Let's what should we look at offensively for Mike Tyson? Like you just said, Mike Tyson is shorter, so he's going to have to get inside of Jake Paul to actually, possibly win this fight. So what should we be looking at offensively from Mike Tyson?
I believe that Mike Tyson, he's going to really just have to be himself. Of course, he can't be the old Iron Mike, but he still got it inside of him somewhere. He's a little older now. So, but he still has those heavy hands. And what they say is you get older, the last thing to go is your power. So
right.
I believe that if Mike Tyson was moving side to side, kind of aggressive, and he can get past Jake Paul's long arms, touch his body, he'll have to touch his body, and then come right back up top with those hooks and those uppercuts to put him out. He gonna have to get in there because Jake's he's gonna get hit. Like that's just a part of the game. He's gonna land that hammer on him, but Jake Paul will have to move them legs. But Mike Tyson, if he gets on the inside, touches his body like he usually does, and works his way up top, I believe it'll be a short night.
It's gonna be short. Somebody say he think it's gonna be short.
Be a short
okay.
Night.
I'm sure like you or like me and like anybody that is watching has seen Mike Tyson's his pre-fight workouts. The dude still looks fast. How do you think speed might come into play as far as on offensively for Mike Tyson?
I believe if he can display that speed for at least half the fight like he did with Roy Jones, he should be okay. But the only thing is like everybody's fast until they're not fast. Like,
amen.
You can be speedy, good head movement, but once them lungs start to kick in, and it's Father Time is undefeated. So
that's true. Yeah.
I mean, once them legs start to go, then that's when he could possibly decline, and it could be a long night for Mike. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I don't believe it'll go that way. But only time will tell for that particular situation.
Excellent. July 28th, we'll be looking at the fight date at AT&T Stadium, Jerry World down there in Dallas. All right. So lastly, before we let you get out of here, Tramaine, defensively, what would Mike need to do to secure a victory on the defensive end?
So with Mike, he was known for his moving side to side. So what he'll have to do is he have to keep his hands up high and keep moving side to side and kind of roll Jake Paul's punches. Have to get around him, keep his guard high. And Jake likes to throw that overhand right. So all he has to do is keep his hands up high to protect that overhand right pretty much. But he'll have to keep his head on the swivel pretty much.
Okay, I can dig it, man. I can dig it. Hey, big shout out to our mock Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, man. We appreciate you guys. No doubt. Real quick, as we wrap up, Tramaine, tell us again where the youth of Nashville can go to check out the youth academy, and where the adults, if they just want to train, do a different training or something like that. Tell us where we can go.
All right, so for the youth they can go to counterpunchyouth.org. It's ORG. And for the adults, they can go to pnbboxing.com. That's for the adult schedule. And they can follow us on all of our social media outlets. It's PNB Boxing. And they'll be able to find everything about our youth and our adults on that particular social media.
Okay, so I got to throw this curveball in there. When I came to the gym, we were working. It seemed like you guys were working on a documentary. Do we got any what exclusive can you give me on that? I need some exclusives on that.
Yeah, from what I can tell, it's still a work in progress, but it'll be breaking down like the formation of when we first started this particular location back in 2019 and how we built it from the ground up with no assistance or anything like that. And more so speaking on the aspects of how we built up our youth program and how we saved over 10,000 lives since we've been actually doing our youth program. And we got data to prove it as well.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, Tramaine, man, big shout out to you. Big shout out to Punches and Bunches, man. We're going to get to you next time on the Surround Sound podcast, my brother.
I appreciate it, big guy.
No doubt, man. Be good.
Peace.